So how have you been? Good. Thank you so
I've
much
been fan
again.
I've been fantastic. I mean, it's such an exciting year. I think everyone feels the same, which is just flat out full tilt. And we're certainly feeling that at RFG.
Well, last time we sat down, we were future proof, and you laid out this thesis really for why the next decade is a bull market for advice.
Yes,
I know you'd fairly recently been promoted to CEO, right, in July of 24.
that's right.
And so you guys have been running hard. I know when we talked, I think your AUM and assets under advisement was somewhere around 5.5, and now you're 8 billion. I saw on your
We're
website.
we're at 8.5 billion as of Friday.
8.5. Oh, as of Friday.
Yes.
Okay, I was reading the April print. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So I know you already had stronger money and now you've kind of revamped that up again. And there's a lot to talk about today. So the AI side and Zox, which you brought on to
Yep.
complement what you've already built there. So you guys, this isn't even a question about really kind of what's the plan. Like you're executing in real time and it's super exciting. So I'm pumped to have you back on. We're in this crazy bull market. So first thing I kind of want to start with is just, thinking about where this market is going, the hype around it, even though there's a lot of geopolitical uncertainty, and you've built, I know, a strong message and a strong strategy around. It's not about product, right? It's about portfolio architecture. How's that evolving? Has it gotten more challenging, or has this kind of market made it easier to sort of stick to that thought process and that approach with your business at RFG?
I think one of the most important things that has unlocked with everything that you just laid out is the importance of advisors partnering with a firm like RFG to offer their clients institutional caliber investment management. We look at all the data. The number one drag on an advisor's, productivity and happiness is how they're spending their time. And if they're allocating their time to non-client facing activities, non-prospect facing activities, oftentimes we'll say non-revenue generating activities, then they're misappropriating their time. And the number one thief is portfolio management. So as the world becomes more complex, as we all are evolving how we're running our businesses as a result of AI, being able to outsource investment management to a team at RFG, we've built that into a concierge experience for advisors. It becomes a real arrow in their quiver to design custom portfolios, to leverage direct indexing, to build alternative strategies, all within RFG Investment Solutions that also has the Blue Mon ETFs as a part of it as well. So we're doubling down on how do we help advisors deliver highly customized portfolio design that matches the work that they're doing on tax planning and estate planning and advanced financial planning, but not having to be just so bogged down in the time it truly takes to be excellent at that for clients?
Your growth, which we talked about at the onset of the show, surpassing 8.5 billion. Just walk us through what drove that. Is it a combination? Is it one in particular thing? I know you've just brought on RVA Wealth Management, or took a bigger stake in that. I mean, you've got a lot of great teams joining. How are you able to do this though? Because it's a super competitive environment, right? And at Scion, we have a platform of alternative solutions, and we work with a lot of your competitors.
Right.
And they're all recruiting and they're all pulling teams from, this shop, that shop. How are you able to kind of sustain this sort of exponential growth right now?
Absolutely, and I believe that growth is just the beginning. We're just getting started. For the last 10 years, we've been investing very intentionally in building a platform engineered to serve independent advisors, and that is where RFG has their flag firmly planted. How do we help that entrepreneurial advisor who wants to build a business, who wants to express their values, both in the way that they're serving clients as well as their brand, and wrap all of the services that they need around them? And because we have this integrated flywheel, marketing growth services, coaching, technology, strategy, institutional investment management. Organic growth is a primary focus, being a platform that serves independent advisors. So across the RFG network, we're seeing double-digit organic growth, and it doesn't happen by accident. It is very intentional. We have resources through our capital solutions to be able to show up and help advisors become a shareholder in RFG, structure a minority investment in their business, help them build that pipeline of talent, G2, G3. But the primary focus for RFG is helping advisors grow their business. So you mentioned the RVA deal, and this is one that we're so excited about. We had a fully baked plan for the day that one of our advisor partners raised their hand and said, I'm ready to retire. And we wanted to be able to allow them the pathway, their journey to continue with RFG, to retire that business in place. So that playbook of taking a majority acquisition, we already had the G2 talent in place. The cherry on top of that story is that advisor wants to work for the founder wants to work for another 3 to 4 years doing what he loves the most, which is educating. He does these phenomenally successful, teaching classes, old school style. He's in the college campus. He absolutely crushes it. He unlocks tremendous growth doing it, and it's where his heart lies. So now the firm has, we've taken a majority stake. The G2 advisor is a very large stakeholder in that firm. We're already developing the G2 talent pipeline there. So it just shows that independence, when you're rooted in that, and it is so clearly built into the DNA of the firm, the way it is at RFG, that you can flex these muscles along the journey. You join RFG fully independent, owning 100% of your enterprise value. You decide you want to become an RFG shareholder or sell a minority stake or unlock capital for tuck-in acquisitions and for growth, or you get to that point where you want to fully transact in your firm. That to me is such a critical part of driving the growth that we've experienced so far.
You mentioned culture a lot, and it's a good segue. Ed Swenson, your president, came on last October, I believe. You appointed
Yes.
him co-founder of Dynasty Financial Partners, a former head of REA Solutions for Osaic, who I know very well. Talk about that. What was the trigger for that hire? How does having Ed in that seat change how you operate day to day and in terms of how you're thinking about things long term?
I think one of the most important truisms to really, to not only talk about, but to walk the walk on, is that the success of a company all resides in attracting the very best talent. If we boil it down to the simplest point, it is those that will win and those that will play to win are the ones that can attract and retain the most, the greatest talent in the industry and really unlock their unique gifts to build something, as I like to say, bigger than ourselves. Ed joined the board when we partnered with Long Ridge. So he and I had more than 2 years of working very closely together. We actually had a standing call every other Friday. So I got to know him as a strategic thought partner. I watched him in how he handled different scenarios and situations and moves that we made in the boardroom. And he just became such a trusted resource. And when he reached that point where, if you're an entrepreneur at heart, the way that he is, the way that I am, you can't help but want to build something great. And obviously Dynasty, what a tremendous success story. And Ed saw it, and the way that he framed it up is the RIA space, the independent RIA space is the winning model for advisors. There's a reason why wirehouse advisors are breaking away and going independent on the RIA space, and being able to show up and deliver this comprehensive suite of services so advisors can serve their clients, can build their business, can create this tremendous enterprise value. He was very clear-eyed that not only was that the winning model, but that's where he wanted to express his talents and be a part of building something. So he joined in October, as you said. It has been transformational in terms of unlocking the velocity in the business. we have never seen our pipeline in terms of the opportunities that we're engaged with, the advisors that we're serving, the complexity of the need that we're meeting. So for me, it's allowed a lot of the day to day. He's a phenomenal operator. So he's taken on leading in technology. He's really working side by side with me in sales. I've been able to focus more of my time serving our advisors, deepening the culture of the company. So we make a fantastic pair. And then, of course, my other partner, longtime partner, Rick Waddell, who's our chief investment officer. What we're building on the institutional side of investment management, I think, is some of the most innovative work that's happening in the industry. So it's a hugely exciting time at RFG. And I think Ed's investment in RFG, he could go anywhere. He could build anything. I mean, he is a world-class talent. To give his most valuable resource, his time, to RFG to build this mission for advisors. We've already 10x the business since I joined 10 years ago. We're about to 10x it again.
Well, you talked about this when we got together in Miami, I believe, and that there's this $30 trillion wealth transfer that's happening, and 67% of that wealth is going to be in the hands of women by 2030. You launched Strong Her Money, which was this full growth accelerator program, I think in September. And now you've also brought on another AI company, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to really be like a hyper enhancement to this. Talk about why that partnership and how this is going to really enhance the AI business to make your advisors better and help them be more efficient.
We have for a long time believed that innovation and disruption are two sides of the same coin, and it's a wonderful partnership we have with our advisors where they have a growth mindset. They are hungry for a fully integrated tech experience that we deliver. And as a result, it really gives us license to be able to go out there and partner with the very best firms that I believe are defining the future of the industry. So we were an early adopter of Zox, and got to see just firsthand how that technology has evolved from note-taking and meeting prep to so much more. We are absolutely, could not be more excited about coming in as an investor in their Series B round alongside Lightspeed and QED and this incredible, venture backing that they have. Mark Gilbert, the co-founder and CEO of Zox, have joined our board. So we now have that AI insight woven into everything that we are building. We recognize that the human in the loop mindset and posture is the winning move. So being able to couple and unlock time, not just in technology, but in marketing and compliance and operations and coaching in every facet of the business, both front of house, so the way that the advisor and their client is experiencing technology, but equally as important, back of house, how we are building the infrastructure of RFG, how we are thinking about the talent decisions in order to serve those advisors. And what we're planning with Zox, we're the perfect size for them to really use RFG as a sandbox for reimagining the future of the industry. How do we have more seamless onboarding so advisors making that transition can do it with less friction, with less fear? They're able to see that pathway lay out in front of them. That is absolutely within our grasp. I've been on a 10-year mission to drive advisor onboarding from this PTSD experience to 30 days or less. And I believe that that is within our grasp in the next 12 to 18 months. I don't think I'm being too aggressive there. We're doing a lot of reimagining the advisors team. What does the CSA of the future look like? How do we help them remove clicks, remove just the redundant nature of their work so that you have these digital workers that are working alongside them and they're able to spend their time, their gifts with clients, with prospects. So truly embodying what we believe an advisor CSA is, which is a force multiplier for the advisor. So you imagine in this generational wealth transfer, whether it's into the hands of women or into the next gen, advisors are going to be serving more households. They are going to be serving families multi-generationally along this wealth spectrum. And the only way to do that and maintain a level of experience that they are really excited about, that they're energized by, is leveraging this new technology and AI and the business intelligence and the intentionality that we're going to be able to build alongside Zox. It's going to not only define what the RIA of the future is going to look like, but I think it's going to fundamentally shift the way we talk about wealth management in the next 3 to 5 years.
You decided to do the deal with Zox. I'm assuming this is part of, again, the value proposition around the organization, right? Because why go to
Absolutely.
Claude? Why go to ChatGPT? And now I'm beholden to them. I'm just their customer. I mean, who cares? Now you're building your own proprietary platform. That is another reason that advisors across the independent broker dealer world who want to be a stakeholder and can have some sort of equity in the business, that's another unique component of it. That was thought through, right?
Absolutely. That was such a key part of it. You know, we recognize Zox works so closely with Anthropic, but RFG going directly to Anthropic, I mean, they're going to be the most valuable company ever created in the world. So to have that incredible partnership where we're able to build together, one of the things that I'm excited about helping the industry, having a disproportionately positive impact on the industry, is
Mhm.
there is so much redundancy that's happening. There is a tremendous amount of work, whether it's how we're serving clients, how we're opening up accounts, how we're solving operational problems, how we're handling the regulatory environment and the compliance needs, that is happening over and over and over again at various scales across our entire industry. Like, let's start to develop at least some guideposts around how to do this in the most streamlined and efficient manner. I think that's what excites Zox about working with RFG, why they wanted to invest in this partnership, why Mark is joining the board, is it's not about like, we just want to have a closed off walled environment for RFG and this is all proprietary to RFG. We want to build something incredibly dynamic that serves the independent advisor and helps them build this tremendous enterprise value. But we also want to share out the insights and the best practices that we're going to develop with the industry, and we all benefit as a result.
Yeah, you mentioned this, and I think as you talked about the growth and the organic growth as well as acquisition growth, that makes a big difference in how you recruit, right? Building that value proposition around that. I know you guys, by the way, congratulations. RFG Advisory was named in USA Today's 2026 Best Financial Advisory Firms. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I'm sure that'll help with your recruiting efforts. Um, the advisor community has to have some strong, reasons besides payouts and platforms, because they don't want to keep moving, right? And you know this as well as anybody. What started out is, well, I'm going to go independent. I want more autonomy than that. I'm going to go RIA. I'm going to be a real business owner. And now RIAs are obviously they're going scale, hyperscale, growing.
Right.
And so the idea of being completely independent, but having the same resources and tools as the biggest wirehouse firm on the planet was the concept. And now it's kind of coming full circle. How do you, as an organization, allow these folks who want that true independence and the resources to have their cake and eat it too while you're growing so fast and you're giving them great resources and all the things they need? But obviously, once a certain level of scale happens, it gets hard to hold on to the same two concepts. Can you talk about that a little bit?
This is one of the most important things, and a big part of the reason why Ed joined as president is a huge part of my role as CEO is helping to foster and nurture the culture of RFG. It is so hugely important to us. We are knit together across, our team as well as our advisors and their team, servant heart growth mindset. And that underlying drumbeat of independence can never be quieted. Every day, I believe you have to wake up and rededicate yourself to that growth mindset. We have to walk in the door every single day as a team and think about how can we help our advisors to deepen those client relationships and win new business. And you can't stray from that. You have to have clarity around what are the underlying values for us. It is iterate to excellence. It is play to win. It is practice radical candor. It is figure it out. And it is servant heart growth mindset. Those cultural norms have to be so intensely touchstone, foundational in your hiring decisions, in your technology decisions, in your partnerships, over and over and over again, rededicating yourself to those values. And if you do that, and if you keep culture front and center, and for RFG, because we've been on this 10-year, foundational building where we haven't grown inorganically. The only majority acquisition we did was within network. So we haven't been this loosely affiliated group of individuals. We have very intentionally sat there at the intersection of talent and opportunity. And each of our advisors feel this. I want to be a part of something bigger than myself. I want to be a part of something bigger than myself. And that is, I think, we all should truly love what we do and who we do it with and why we do it. This is our only life. And one thing that I'm always surprised by is advisors would never accept the level of service that they receive oftentimes from their platform partners for their clients. They deliver, 24/7, 365, this exceptional level of intentional care of their clients. And yet they are served by firms that have put other interests ahead of their own. So I think it starts, contractually, like it is very clear with RFG, you own your clients, you own your data, you own your brand name. So if you don't have your claws sunk into an advisor and you have to walk the walk and win their business every single day, it changes your posture. It changes your posture for gratitude. It changes the way you think about ROI. It changes the hiring, the talent, the tech. All of it is guided by that. So for us, it is just scaling with never forgetting like where we came from, where we're going, and that flag planted for independence. It keeps us honest.
Well, part of what you're talking about is enhancing the client experience and allowing the advisor to drive that. Now, you've built a behavioral finance coaching into a platform.
Yes.
It's not just an add-on. How does that actually show up in the advisor's practice?
Okay, so this has been some of the most interesting work, and it is evolving as we speak. So, we did a lot of surveying across the, just across the industry of coaching programs, and they're like New Year's resolutions.
Mhm.
You commit to this year-long program, you come out of the gate, you're so fired up, you get all these great, practice management, professionalizing org design ideas. And around February, you've gotten busy with your client reviews. You haven't really been able to implement. The coaching is disconnected from the technology you're using. And what ends up happening is the advisor is just weighed down on their shoulders, more work for them to do. So what we realized in building this flywheel where organic growth happens when compliance is integrated with marketing and marketing is integrated with technology and technology is integrated with talent and talent is integrated with operations, like all of those pieces are spinning. So we built our behavioral coaching into these 90-day cohort sprints. And when you raise your hand to do a cohort sprint, you're delivered the entire ecosystem, all the tech that needs to be, levers that need to be flipped, all the marketing support. So let's take this in practice. An advisor wants to implement a surge schedule. They want to get to that point where they want to do surge scheduling, meeting with their clients 2 times a year. Well, first you have to segment your client so that you know what the design of the experience will be. Then you have to go through the surge scheduling. You need the tech in place to be able to have all the proper classification, email campaigns, the digital reports that you're going to be able to use to deliver those annual reviews, how you're going to deliver videos to your clients so they feel like you're always in front of them. How is their investment management going to be expressed? That now is delivered to the advisor through these 90-day growth focus cohort sprints. And I will tell you, it is one of the most exciting things is to realize oftentimes advisors will come to us and be like, I want to build a niche. And you realize they haven't done the foundational work in technology, in their workflows, and how they onboard clients to be even ready when that niche starts unlocking all of this growth into their business. So recognizing that to truly be able to serve advisor, to power double-digit organic growth, you have to sit in that triangle where coaching, technology, and marketing are all working in synchronicity. And that has just been like I said, this is the beginning of a journey that I think is truly going to change not only the impact and growth that advisors have, but the happiness that they enjoy in their business.
Mm. Yeah, that's really good. Are you going to be doing Future Proof in the fall?
Oh, heck yeah. Signed up this weekend. We can't
All
wait to be
right.
there.
All right. Well, good. What conversations are you most excited to have with advisors when you get out there?
Oh, well, I think that we are living in a blue ocean moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think that AI is unlocking business intelligence and a way for us to be thinking about our companies and our impact in just a way that we didn't have before. I know at RFG, we are actively engaged. We have an AI task force. We have a weekly show and tell on our all hands huddle. We're obviously building with Zox, front of house, back of house. Like, it is transformational. I didn't think, I had this incredible gift early in my career. I worked in investment banking and worked for the firm that took Netscape public. So the first internet IPO. And I remember sitting in those drafting sessions, hearing and writing, what is the internet? What is the World Wide Web? And knowing that I was sitting on truly the creation of a frontier. And I never thought in my career that I would get to be there again. And yet here we are. I think like hearing that, living that, feeling that, approaching our teams in that way, talking with advisors as they're thinking about building their businesses and their brands with that lens in mind is going to be the difference maker for this blue ocean moment.
I appreciate you sharing that. This was terrific. Again, love having you on the show. Hopefully, we can carve out some time on your calendar when we're out at Future Proof in September, I believe. So that'll be a lot of
It'd be an
fun.
honor. It is definitely a priority on my calendar, and I'd certainly be honored to join you. You guys do phenomenal work. This is one of the best podcasts in the business.
Well, that's kind of you. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for coming on, Shannon.
Thanks so much.
This video is for informational purposes only and should not be considered or relied upon as investment advice. It may not be copied, quoted, or referenced without Scion Investments' prior written consent. Do not rely upon any opinions, predictions, or forward-looking statements contained herein. The views expressed do not constitute an offer to sell or a solicitation to purchase securities, nor do they constitute the endorsement of a particular asset class or investment strategy. Neither Scion Investments nor its affiliates and/or subsidiaries warrants its completeness or accuracy. Certain information contained in this video may constitute forward-looking statements that may be inherently unreliable, and actual events or results may differ materially from those reflected or contemplated herein. Scion Investments expressly disclaims any obligation or undertaking to update or revise any information included herein. The views expressed by the guests or participants are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Scion Investments, LLC, or any of its subsidiaries, officers, or staff. Please be aware of the real risk of loss in following any investment strategy. No investment strategy or asset class referenced herein is intended to be construed as investment advice. You should make an independent, informed decision regarding any investments or strategies only after reviewing all relevant offering or disclosure documentation with your financial professional, and after considering your objectives, risk tolerance, and best interest before making any investment in any financial product. Registered personnel should review any business development initiatives addressed herein with their respective compliance and legal departments. Coverage of such topics should not be construed as compliance or legal advice. It is at the discretion of each respective firm if such practices are consistent with firm policies and procedures.